Hello and welcome to the Hong Kong E-Prix. Uncharacteristically damp and drowsy here compared to the last couple of years where it's been nice and warm, a little bit too humid at times. This is going to be the 50th race in Formula E's history, so quite significant. There were a lot of cynics out there, a lot of people thinking it wasn't going to get this far, but it's fantastic and it's powering through, and Formula E is the future, obviously, which is why we're all here. So here we are, round 5 of the Season 5 Formula E Championship at Hong Kong. The track layout hasn't really changed that much. The nice thing about it is it's like a typical Formula E track. It's really bumpy. It's like we were in Mexico where I was like driving my Audi. Now we're back in Hong Kong where I'm now driving my daughter's old Peugeot. So it's great. There's such a big difference in the type of track from Mexico to here. So the car setup changes quite a lot. Pretty much it's going to be wet tomorrow, which could be the first race where it's an all wet weekend. The lines, as you can see, the painted lines and the areas where they normally control the traffic flow, they're going to be really slippery in the wet. So the drivers have to have a good idea where they're going to be turning in and where they could lose a little bit of grip and where it could catch them out and they could put the car into a spin. Here we'll have 4 cars adrift on the entry, which will have to filter down to maybe 2 wide at the mid corner. But as you can see, the braking area where we've got these white lines, they're painted or they're taped. I'm assuming the tape will actually be coming up like it is here, but I'm sure that will all be coming up before the race tomorrow. But even the painted white lines are going to be very slippery in the wet, so it's going to be quite an interesting first lap. So after 1, we go through turn 2. Lots of painted crisscross on the road. Could be quite difficult in the rain with all the paint. And then we're on the entry to 3 and 4, the chicane. As you can see on the road, we've got a zebra crossing here. From the rain and from some washing, we've got rivers that are going across the track here, so if it's really wet it could be pretty treacherous for braking into 3 here. You can see the painted lines here again, and then you see the curbing into 3 and 4. This is the main chicane, really. It does create lots of issues for the drivers. There are some shunts here in the race, and if there's ever going to be a red flag, it will probably be caused at this chicane. Out of 5, a little bit up the hill, you can see on the inside here where the painted white lines are, it's a different type of surface. It's like a rippled concrete. There'll be loads of grip there, and then on this old concrete here, big concrete slabs, it's not going to be so grippy. Into 6. Now this is an overtaking spot, and it's where Sam took the lead from Jev last year. It's going to be really interesting to see if people can do the same this year, because the attack zone is on the exit of turn 6, just after it. As you can see, what I'm pointing to here is the second timing loop. The drivers have to cross all 3 timing loops in order to activate the attack zone, and because it's on the inside of turn 6, we thought it might be quite difficult for drivers to be able to pass. I can see there is still an opportunity that any driver carrying more speed into 6 could take a wider berth, a wider line, and overtake the car that is picking up the attack zone before the entry into turn 7. So it's going to be really interesting to see. So out of turn 6, we're into turn 7 and 8, which are fast left-handers. They're the quickest corners on the circuit. Then you're into 9, which is another roundabout, which is a right-hander, before here into the last corner, turn 10, a sweeping left-hander, and this is the last corner. Here last year, a few drivers spun it. I think Jev even spun across the line on his qualifying lap. So it looks quite wide, it looks quite fast, and it looks quite safe. But in actual fact, it's really quite tricky. That then takes us across the start-finish line, which will end the lap of the Hong Kong E-Prix. It's going to be very challenging. It's going to be great with the rain. Let's see, and it's going to be great on BBC 2 live. So look forward to seeing you.